Hello, everybody. It's Connor. It is One Leeds Fan Channel. We are back here with The Final Word, a weekly series where we surmise everything that has happened with Leeds United's latest games. And The Final Word, it's a product of you guys. You guys suggested it. You guys wanted it. You wanted it back. I did it right at the start of the One Leeds Fan Channel. So I brought it back. And guys, when I'm surmising everything, there's no notes here. There's no anything. Normally, I do quite a bit of preparation for each and every video. That's not to say I don't enjoy and want to talk about and articulate my thoughts on Leeds United, but I want to get your thoughts as well. So get all your comments, get all your questions in the section below. We're going to get into absolutely everything this week. We're going to get into the Brighton game. We're going to get into every sort of eventuality that can happen this week. And everybody, I know a lot of you will be asking, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with the debrief with myself, Brownie and KG. So Leeds United played Brighton yesterday. You might have caught my instant match reaction. If you haven't already, make sure you go check that out. It's a little bit of a snippet. I've got my mobile phone up here. It's a little bit different, but we are back at McGilligan HQ here, where it's a little bit more professional. No phone settings. So yeah, and I've gathered my thoughts. I've watched the game back. I've been reading people's opinions, and I've got a few thoughts. I've got a few things to say. So make sure you get your thoughts in the comment section below. There's 214 of you watching right now. 214 likes would be absolutely magnificent for us here on the One Leeds Fan Channel, guys. It takes a second, and it's absolutely free. So without any further ado, let me get into your comments. 29 have come in just now. Joe Madigan, one of the Patreon members. Guys, if you want to get involved in the Patreon, we've had a fair few sign up this week. Make sure you check the link in the description below. I try to upload an extra 6 to 7 videos a month. If you want some bonus content, Patreon links in the description below. Marsh, I think, was great to change things up and play with more width. He saw what wasn't working and isn't afraid to change it up. So there's a lot on this, Joe. There is a lot of people talking about the width, and I sort of accumulated my thoughts really on this, and I do quite agree. I do think that it was the right way to go. I think you look at the stats at the end of the game, Leeds United having 19 shots, 5 on target. You look at the XG, although a lot of that XG is based on Joe Gelhardt smashing the ball in Liam Cooper's face, the XG was better in Leeds' favour, which hasn't been the case for the past month. My only gripe with Jesse Marsh is, and shoulda, woulda, coulda, we can all live with a little bit of hindsight in our lives. This should have been done at the start. We talk about tweaks. We talk about little things. We talk about not wanting to overcomplicate and put a burden, stress, anxiety, all these buzzwords that Jesse's spoken about onto the players. But yet we've tried to change the entire system. We've tried to give the players multiple messages, which evidently they're very confused about. So yes, well done, Jesse Marsh, for getting it right, as was the title of my video yesterday. Jesse got it right, but I think this could have been done a lot earlier. Sam's in the building talking about eventualities already. Villa beat Burnley, and it slightly swings in our favour at the moment. We are probably still favourites to go. Jacob Smith says, do you think the fight is there in the players now? Yes, Jacob. Certain players don't. And we're going to get into that because here on the One Leeds Fan Channel, we don't shy away from the big key controversial topics. I think we all saw one individual yesterday, in my opinion, who was shirking a little bit. And I'm not really happy with his performances. And a lot of you guys might be thinking I'm talking about Jack Harrison. Don't worry, I'm not. But it is Rodrigo. And I'm really upset with his sort of performance the other day. I'm sort of upset with the lethargic laziness of it. I've called his pressing out for about a year now in terms of how lethargic it is. I thought that was a Bielsa thing. I thought that was him just not fitting a pressy system. So what does he want? What does he want? Because the demands on Rodrigo have been lessened somewhat. So what do you want, Rodrigo? Because we're sort of playing to you. You're in the number 10. You've been favoured. You've been part of this leadership council now for a while. You are one of the senior players. You're 30 years of age. And it still seems that it's not clicking with him. So maybe just when you look at the quality of player, he's just not that good. Maybe. Or the fight and the desire to win a game for Leeds United is compromising his quality and his calibre. Maybe that's what it is. But at the minute and yesterday, especially when it led to the first goal, which it did, his mistake, which was a simple pass through to Jack Harrison, the team are looking at him and the team are wanting him to show a little bit of heart, desire, passion, fight, which I always go on about. And it was evident in his performance yesterday, in my opinion, that he didn't look that bothered. He didn't look that up for it. I guess he got a little bit better, but I think overall his performance was woeful in another key game. 27 million quid, probably the worst. I'd say it's got to be top 10, 15. One of the worst Premier League signings ever in the division's history, purely on the basis of how much the guys cost and the return we've got and the amount of big moments we've got from this guy. So, yeah, I think the fight overall, I think there's certain individuals such as Rodrigo, but I did like what I saw from Jack yesterday, and you'll all be surprised at that. Jack Harrison, I thought in the second half, he was really trying to bring Leeds back into the game, trying to get the game by the scruff of the neck. I thought Click was a little bit better than what he's been, showing for the ball at least. I spoke on the preview about players hiding, which winds me up no end. But they weren't hiding, I didn't think, to a higher degree yesterday. So, yeah, it was a massive improvement, I thought. Fans abusing Rads outside Ellen Road yesterday. Yeah, I'm never on board with that, Luke. Ryan Noob's in the building. Evening, Connor. I'm scared, not sure. A point was enough. Yeah. Yes, Ryan, I am of that opinion. I think there's a lot of Leeds content creators. I think there was a rhetoric on social media yesterday and the day before and the week leading up to the Brighton game that it was a must-win. Now, the goalposts have moved somewhat because Leeds were only able to get a draw, but people are almost going back on what they said a little bit. There's a lot of revisionism going on. People are now of the opinion that 1 point is enough. Well, where maybe before they were saying that 1 point wasn't enough. So, yeah, I think the ball is in Burnley's court now. And I think a win yesterday, which I think we could have got a win yesterday. I think we had enough chances to get a win yesterday, would have really put the pressure on Burnley. And what I've tried to make a point of in the past when it's come to something acting as an extra point, it is goal difference. Said it on the debrief. Me and Brown had a little bit of a debate on the debrief about goal difference. I was in the camp of goal difference in January. It was going to go down to the wire. I thought Leeds were going to be in a battle right to the wire. And goal difference is a huge thing. It's an extra point, and that is something that Burnley have on us. That is something Everton have on us. So that is my big worry. We need Burnley to lose 2 games this week. Now, the last time I was sure Burnley were going to drop significant points was the Wolves and the Southampton game. Both of those games, Burnley went on to win. So I'm not saying Burnley are going to do that, but the last time we were waiting on games to be played, when Leeds obviously had that massive gap, we have a big gap now. We're waiting on Burnley to slip up again. Now, that is not a nice position to be in. It really isn't. And you have to turn around and say Leeds United have a tougher game at the end of the calendar season in Brentford than what, in my opinion, Burnley do. I do think that. Why don't we play Gelhardt more? We will be in this mess. Yeah, why didn't we play Gelhardt more? Apparently, I can't read. Yeah, so I think so. I think Darren has been a lot when it's come to his injuries. There's been a lot when it's come to his fitness. I think that's been a big thing with Bielsa and Jesse Marsh. But I've heard a lot of people turning around and saying, "Oh, well, he's had injuries. This, that, and the other." Well, Greenwood's also been preferred to him several times. Dan James has also been preferred to him several times by both managers when Joffrey has been 100% fit, which has been confirmed by both managers in their press conferences before the games. So you're not getting away with that one, Marcelo Bielsa or Jesse Marsch, because I used to do all your press conferences. No, I'm kidding. But on a footballing level, yes, 100% that you should have started more. Maybe his pace isn't there. Maybe his athleticism isn't there. Maybe that agility isn't there with Joe Gelhardt. But the thing that is there is that individual quality. The thing that is there is that star quality. The thing that is there is the fact that this kid is a game winner being watched by some of the top clubs in Europe. So in answer to your question, should they have started Joe Gelhardt more often? Yes, undoubtedly so. Back of the net, great name. Very much improved second half against a good side. Look at their away form. Forever Leeds, regardless of the division. 10 more minutes after the equaliser, and I think would have got the win. Yeah, back of the net, I agree. I think it got to that point in the game where you saw Sanchez playing for time, and you saw Joel Veltman playing for time. I think they were doing that throughout the second half, really, which I didn't understand because Brighton should have seen Leeds off in that first half, if we've been brutally honest with ourselves. Brighton should have seen Leeds United off in that first half. It should have been 2, 3, potentially even 4. Just as I said on my preview, a technically good side who play a very rhythmic style of football. The patterns of play, their sequences, they're very... Graham Potter has got them playing in a very, very sort of perfect way. It's similar. Scripted is probably a good way of surmising it, really, which is very similar to what Scott Parker said the Leeds United brand of football was under Marcelo Bielsa. It's a very similar style of play under Graham Potter for Brighton. So you had Leeds fans coming out of that game yesterday saying, wow, we didn't really understand how good Brighton were. You know, Brighton are a good team. They're a very, very good team. They are. And there needs to be a lot more respect put on Brighton's name. I remember at the start of the season, I pipped Brighton to finish, I think it was 5 or 6 places above Leeds United. The reaction I got was unbelievable. People couldn't believe it. In fact, what I'll do is I might pin a link to that video to the comments section. But people couldn't believe it. And Brighton's recruitment, Brighton's manager, I really, really rate Graham Potter. Ashdown, who's been their recruitment officer, has done a fantastic job. You look at Cucurella at the weekend in comparison to Junior Firpo. When you talk about summer acquisitions for left back, the comparative there is vast. And I just think they're a very, very well-run club. So, yeah, Brighton, I think they've beaten, is it Spurs, Arsenal, beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers away from home as well. So, in isolation, like I've said before, it's a good point. Crystal Palace was a good point in isolation, but it's not good enough in the predicament that Leeds United are in. Be interesting to see in the race if they be interested to see Everton in the race if they've got Arsenal away, which is the hardest game of the 3. I think the thing is, Paul, they're a point ahead of us now. They've got a better goal difference than us now, which acts as an extra point. So for Leeds to surpass Everton need to really lose the last 2, and Leeds need to beat Brentford. So I still think, I know it's only a point, but the goal difference is a big, big factor in this. So I still think they're out of reach because I don't think Leeds are going to beat Brentford, and I don't think Everton are going to lose the last 2 games. So I think they're out of reach, to be honest with you. Yeah, we all like it because it's Frank Lampard, but I think it's a shootout between Leeds United and Burnley at the minute. Burnley missing me and Tarkowski is huge as Irish boxing fan. Yeah, they are absolutely huge. But I tell you what, did you watch Burnley at the weekend? Bearing in mind at the back, they've got, I believe it was Collins and I don't know if Jack Cork played at the back. I can't quite remember. Kevin Long, sorry. Yeah, so it was Collins and Kevin Long. I thought they were very good. Very good. Listen, take those glasses off, those white tinted glasses. Take that, take everything off that is white. That is going to make you biased. Unfortunately, I didn't expect Burnley to put up that much of a fight. And they had an opportunity where Cornet was through on goal. He had to score. That had made it 1-0. Charlie Taylor put a delicious ball in. I believe it was for Jack Cork, actually. And I think Ryan Sessegnon got just ahead of him in time. Burnley put up a fight for about 20, 25 minutes. And when I say a fight, I mean they posed an attacking threat for 20, 25 minutes where Tottenham were on the back foot. So, you look at the week before when Arsenal went to Tottenham and got pumped. That doesn't happen with Burnley. It never happens with Burnley. They're always in the game. They'll have an outlier when it comes to maybe Manchester City when they'll lose 5-0 every now and again. But, a lot of the other top 4 teams, Burnley are in it. Look at Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. They're always well in it. So it's always a difficult game to predict that club. It's a very, very difficult game. But when I watched that, it did make me a little bit nervous. It did, because it was a penalty from Kane. Wasn't an open play goal. And as I've said multiple times, they are a problem, Burnley. They're a big, big problem, and they do have quality as well. So missing Ben and me and Tarkowski is huge. Tarkowski is going to be back for the game against Villa. Apparently they were resting him for the Spurs game, probably because they knew they were going to lose that game, and they knew that the latter two games were going to be of more importance. And Ben Mee, well, he can sub himself on whenever he wants, really, can't he? So, Gail, we're just talking about Burnley again here. Let me just have a quick sipper. This is a keg, by the way. I don't know. I've not introduced it before because I know you guys will just take the mick, which you should do. But I got this from America, and it's a gallon. So, yeah. Shout out to all you States water drinkers. Connor makes Burnley seem like prime Barca, absolute waffle. And listen, it's a touchy subject, isn't it? It's a touchy subject. People get sensitive when it comes to bigging other teams up. And listen, I do watch other teams apart from Leeds United. Burnley aren't a world-class team, but Burnley are a team who stay in games. And listen, the last time I was talking about Burnley, the last time all Leeds fans were talking about Burnley in my comment section, they were going to lose 3 games on the bounce. They went to win two out of those 3 games and gained 7 points out of 9, 10 points out of 12. So listen, I'm not saying they're a world-class team, but they are a problem. That's exactly what I've said. So yeah, I do think Leeds fans get a little bit sensitive when it comes to bigging up other teams. It is just what it is. About speed and skill in the box, he drove into the box, flicked it up over deft legs. Oh, we're talking about Gelhardt here. And then flicked it over plays Pascal to score. Match on together, please post this. Yeah, Ian, Joe Gelhardt, listen, what a player. What a player. He's top. His technical ability is above anybody else bar Rafinha in this squad, which says a lot about the standard of this squad. And yeah, I mean, he's a top player. He's a top player. He's going to be a top player as well, which is why we can't go down, because I thoroughly believe that if we do go down, Gelhardt will move on, because I know for a fact, I can tell you this, an exclusive, which I don't need to tell you, so I'm sure you're all aware anyway. But yes, there are top clubs looking at this guy and Charlie Cresswell. So he's made a name for himself. He's made noise with the minutes he's been on the pitch and the contributions he's made, the exposure he's had on match of the day, the exposure he's having on Sky Sports as well. Listen, this kid's name's been spoken about, not just in Leeds. So let's have a look. Wonder if Burnley having a midweek match will hinder them, especially if they go in and try to get a result. Yeah, potentially. That's 2 games. I think it's 2 games in 2 days, so it definitely could hinder Burnley. It's a small squad, like we all know. As someone correctly said before, James Tarkowski has been out. Ben Mee probably won't feature with him being sort of the assistant manager there at the minute. That is going to potentially be a problem. But I just don't really see them. The performance levels never really drop in terms of their just standards. I'm not saying the standards are amazing, but they just don't really seem to drop. I mean, that week that we're all talking about when they had, 4 games in 11 days. I mean, I think they won, 2 or 3 of them and drew the other one. So it's a difficult one to predict with Burnley. It really, really is. But listen, those 2 games that they've got, Aston Villa and Newcastle, they're not going to be easy. Let's have a look what some is. Coutinho better have his Weetabix on Thursday. Yeah, aside from that as well, James, you've got Emi Buendia, who had a really, really good game against Burnley last time, and he'll be wanting to start. He got some great numbers against Burnley. I think he got a couple of goals and maybe an assist. So those 2 battling out for that number 10. I think the only thing that worries me is Villa's inconsistencies, and they're not great at home. They're actually better away than they are at home. So that's the only thing that worries me with this Villa side. You don't know what you're going to get. Gerrard should be... someone said to me today he thinks he's going to be resting players so he can go up against Manchester City and beat Manchester City so Liverpool win the title. I think that's absolute rubbish, to be quite honest with you. Gerrard has his own personal standards. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a tough game for Burnley. And listen, they've arguably lost the easier out of the 2 games, you could say, at Turf Moor with how strong Burnley are at home in comparison to their away form. Let's have a look what somebody was saying. Mick says, for me, Burnley will get something out of Villa and beat the Geordies at home. But if Everton fail to beat Palace, it could be interesting if we beat Brentford. Yeah, it's all going to go down to that, isn't it? I think I said this the other day as well. I think the problem with Brentford is they're a good team. And that's obviously not a problem from their side of things, but it's a problem from our side of things. They are a good team. They just are. Last time we played them, they had no Ivan Toney. Obviously, they had no Christian Eriksen. So it's going to be a different game. And you look at the amount of chances that Leeds are conceding at the minute. I mean, as we've just spoken about, if we're being brutally honest in that Brighton game, which I know people are just going to go back on what they've said now because we've got a point. But if you go back on that first half, Leeds, we weren't in the game. We were absolutely terrible. I know Gellert had a good chance within the first sort of 10 minutes, but aside from that, there was boos, there was disgruntlement from the crowd, and people seem to forget all this when we've got the point. But it's a shocking first half. Came out second half much better. Excuse me, much better. But Brighton didn't really have the shooting boots on the day. Now I watched Brentford versus Everton the other day, and it seemed like they did have the shooting boots on. They've got some real technical players in that side. Ivan Toney's going to be really up for this one. But you know what, everybody? This is where I talk about soft mentality and weak mentality with Leeds United. We should be up for this now. If Ivan Toney's going out on Twitter and taking the mick out of Leeds fans, Leeds just Leeds United in general, really, which he has done, Leeds need to be pinning that up on the wall and saying this is motivation for us. I don't know why this has been gathered as motivation for Ivan Toney and Brentford in sending Leeds United down. Look, I know the haters. I know they're a small club and don't really have any rivalries. I think it's apart from Fulham and QPR. But and they've tried to derive one with us over the past 3 or 4 years, which has built them up a little bit. But when you take that into the equation, Leeds United should just play the game as it is. Play to our standards, play to what we know we can do, what we've shown in the past. Play expansively, play on the front foot, and then just hopefully blow them away. But it's not going to be an easy game. This is a team who are third in the form table, only below Manchester City and Liverpool. Very, very strong at home, as we all know. So for me, the more likely scenario of Leeds staying up is that Burnley lose 2 games. Burnley lose 2 games and we maybe draw the last one or lose the last one. It doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, that's how I see it. That's really how I see it. And then, to be fair, even if Burnley draw one of those games and we draw at Brentford, obviously Leeds stay up. So there are a lot of scenarios here, but I think if Burnley win, that is it. That's my personal preference on it. That's my personal opinion on it. I should say it's definitely not a preference. But yeah, I think it's going to go down to that, and I think it's going to go down to, unfortunately, if Burnley are going to be able to pick up a win. Pontus could take us down. If he does, Pontus is a snake. Yeah, true. Sorry, mate, I can't pronounce your name, but I saw you'll disagree with me, so I'll definitely read it out. I have to disagree with you, Connor, on that first half. More like the first 30 minutes, we had chances like the click one and many opportunities from corner situations. All I remember from corner situations, mate, is Rafinha not being able to beat the first man. Click, yeah, 100%, definitely. And obviously we had the Gellert one as well, which was a big opportunity. But I do think, there was a fair few chances that Brighton had in that first half where I just didn't think they were ruthless enough. They were absolutely tearing us down on third post side. They were killing us on that side. So yeah, I thought Brighton definitely had the better of it in the first half. But yeah, I can understand why you thought we had a few opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it was Clicks a good opportunity or did he just fashion it really well? Hisham has said, my worry is that Brentford are very good in the air. I think all of their 3 goals were headers. Do you think that we should start Cresswell ahead of Llorente? Yeah, 100%. I mean, Llorente shouldn't be in the starting 11. He should not be anywhere near that starting 11. As I said on my instant match reaction, you guys know that I've listened. I like his technical ability. I like the fact that he was able to really sort of flourish in getting the ball as a defender and playing through the transitions really quickly, but you need to have more as a defender. He can't cope with people's physicality because he isn't physical himself. So what he does is he grabs hold of people's shirts. I cannot understand how he's not given more penalties away. If a player goes down in the box and Llorente's all over them, which he normally is, if that goes to VAR, he's given away arguably 8 or 9 penalties a season. He's so obvious with it. His passing out from the back has got, in my opinion, through the transitions a little bit worse. They get into, I mean, it's 50-50 anyway, really, but he's also he's on the verge of a quality pass and a hospital pass. He's almost what a central attacking midfielder is, someone who takes a risk to get the reward, but you can't really do that as a centre-back. I know it's the modern era, but he's not good enough to be doing it. He just really isn't. And I think when he comes up against physical strikers, he really struggles. And he struggled the other day. I mean, that was an abomination, an absolute abomination of an attempt to defend. It was pathetic. This is a guy who's been a Spanish international bullied, absolutely bullied. So yes, I would love to see Cresswell on this side. He's ready. He's got big clubs caught in him at the minute. So I don't understand why we've not seen more of him. I really don't. I don't know what he's doing. He's clearly good when he's come on. He's dealt with physical characters, and you don't get more physical than Ivan Toney. Keep any comments in, everybody. Yeah, you're entertaining Furbo. A lot of people saying Furbo had a good game yesterday, to be fair. Keep getting your comments in, everybody. As I said, this is the final word. And the reason I do these shows is to get your comments in. I get my overarching thoughts out on the instant match reaction and the debrief, but I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your comments on the screen. We normally go for quite a while on here, so get your thoughts in, and we'll talk through all the the discussion points. Aaron says, surely throw in Patrick no matter what. Joffrey and Paddy. Yeah, come on, Patrick, lad. Look, he said that he'd come back if we desperately needed the points. That was a quote. We need the points, mate. We desperately need the points. We need you up top. We need you to maybe occupy Patrick Pontus Jansson. You played against him before. We missed that, really, didn't we? In the Brentford home game, we had no presence up front. They were able to deal with it really, really nicely because we were just playing sort of through the Marcelo Bielsa system. What we're doing is trying to play the ball out wide, but they were just mopping up at the back, weren't they? It was really, really simple for them. Aside from the Tyler Roberts goal, actually, which we all forget about, that sliding finish from across, which, yeah, madness. But everything else they dealt with quite easily, I thought. I didn't think they needed to break much of a sweat. Ayer's going to be back for this one as well. I don't think Ayer was playing against us in the first leg. I'm pretty sure it was Janssen and Pinnock. So, yeah, that's going to be a change. Ayer's a really, really good player. Very, very physical. So we need Patrick Bamford. We need Patrick Bamford for this one. Let me just lighten my camera. Wonderful. Yeah, so we need Bamford back for this one. We need it. Look, I'd have a one-legged Patrick Bamford. I really would. And I'm just hoping, and I don't think it will be this, but I'm hoping he's not just preserving himself for the summer. I hope we can just throw him in. And listen, a Patrick Bamford at 80% is a Patrick Bamford that we need. It'd be great to see him partnered with Joffrey. I'd agree. Yeah. Do I think Phillips will leave? I do. Yes, I do. LUFC. I do think Phillips will leave. Regardless, I think yesterday was very telling. It was upsetting as well, to be honest with you, because you almost have this feeling in your head that no matter what happens, he's obviously got a huge affinity with the club. But I even felt yesterday that if we stay up, I think he's going to move. I think that was weird yesterday. Not weird as in it was a bad thing, of course, because it was not a bad thing at all. It was an end of season thing, but he was crying. Do you know what? I don't know if I thought it was a bit of a bad look, because it's like, we're not down, Kalvin. We're not down. Let's not be crying and all this sort of stuff. Leeds aren't down yet. We're actually in 17th place. But I know maybe in his head it's whatever happens, Leeds he's going to be moving on. That's what I pictured it as. I really did, because yeah, you'd think that if he's crying, there is an opportunity for Leeds United to stay up, so he will be with us next season. But when you're crying like that, in my opinion, it's because whatever happens, you're moving on. And that is the thing. If we don't know what's happened, I mean, people seem to think that players don't get tapped up behind closed doors. That does happen. Clubs are talking. We were speaking to Aronson for a long time. That's a fact. And that's the state of football that we're in. Clubs are talking to players all the time. So we don't know who's talking to him right now. For all we know, Man City could be talking to him. We have absolutely no idea. The other side might be talking to him. I mean, they are definitely interested. I can tell you that, but he will never go there. But I don't know. Maybe his ears have been perked by another club. Who knows? But he did seem a little bit, yeah, I'm going sort of, whatever happens, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think in there, everybody. I was watching it. It made me upset, but yeah, it's an interesting one. Sai333, big thing for me, Connor, is whatever happens on Thursday. Big thing for me, Connor, is whatever happens on Thursday for Burnley, it will still go down to the last day. Keep the faith. Massive point that yesterday. Yep, Sai, 100%. It will go down to the last day. Precisely. It is going to be, yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, if Burnley are to get 3 points, then yeah. That would mean it's going to go to the last day, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to formulate in my head. It's been a strong day. It's been a strong and tough day at work. Yes, it will, because we're not level on points. We're a point ahead. God. So, yeah, it will. We just need to make sure that they're not gathering a large amount of points in these next couple of games, because that's going to be insurmountable for Leeds to be able to get back, really. Air D says, waited 16 years to watch us play in the Prem again. Where I'm from, it's not possible to watch championships. I would often read about it. I hope I wouldn't have to do that for another 15 years. That's so interesting, isn't it? Because you never think about that when it comes to globalization. And I don't know where you're from, RD, by the way, please let me know. But I've had that message quite a few times from people who are in very, random places when it comes to geography, and they can't actually access Leeds United unless it is on the big television networks and stuff like that. So that is why the club will suffer as well, because their notoriety, we're not getting spread around the world anymore, and you just don't want that. It is so, honestly, guys, it's so big that Leeds stay in the Premier League. I can't hear I always say football's subjective. I always say everybody's opinion matters, and I do stand by that. But I just think for people who are saying, well, let's go. I mean, I actually commented back on it. People were saying, well, if we go down, we'll have a rebuild. What world are you living in? What world are you living in? I think those are the sort of people who turn around and say, we get hammered sort of 6-0, and they turn around and say, well, we go again next week. We go again next week. It doesn't matter. We swipe that under the carpet. While most as Leeds fans are just absolutely in agony and pain throughout the entire week. But yeah, listen, I just don't understand that mindset. That is not what Leeds United will be if we go down. Listen, I'm not going to go over it again. I've gone over it in several videos, but Leeds go down, they're in so much trouble. They're in so much, not like last time. Obviously, it's not going to be like last time, but in terms of an immediate bounce back to the Premier, there's absolutely no way it happens. And someone try let me know in the comment section below how that will happen, if that is going to be the case. Villa drew with Palace at home. Burnley might get something there, and they have Toon at home, and they will go all out on a team that has nothing to fight for. Brentford is a must-win, and then hope. Yeah, I'd agree with that, mate. I think the good thing is, the positive thing is with regards to Newcastle are on fire at the minute. Once again, you guys always know that I talk about form tables, because form tables are the most relevant thing. Last 6 to 8 games is obviously how a team's doing recently, how a team is built, how a team is looking injury-wise as well. You can get a lot from the last 6 to 8 games. They are flying at the minute. I think they're 4th or 5th in the form tables. That's a big positive for us. I genuinely don't know whether or not Burnley will beat them. I don't think Burnley will beat them. Newcastle, I don't think that will happen. The one that I'm a little bit worried about them getting 3 points is Villa, because you just don't know with Villa. I think Gerrard will hammer his side and say, look, we need to go to the end of the season. But if you're talking about on the beach settings, I would be looking at Villa more than Newcastle. Newcastle are all playing for the contracts at the minute. So, yeah, but you just never know. Like I said, this is how relevant this is, and we can predict absolutely everything. When Wolverhampton Wanderers went to Burnley, Wolves were 3rd in the away form table, and they were flying. I think there was something like 3 or 4 points in the away form table away from, it was either Liverpool or Man City, flying. Went to Burnley won. Burnley won, and Wolves didn't really muster anything up. So, yeah, it's a really difficult one to predict, Burnley. That's what I was saying earlier. It's not the fact that the Burnley owner or they're not in Real Madrid settings or anything like that. They can be difficult to beat. They really can be difficult to beat, especially when it comes to this stage of the season where they always seem to kick into gear. Cypher Beat as Everton fan here, want us to stay up and Burnley to get relegated. Yeah, I've had a couple of Burnley fans on, to be honest. I was on Liam Viz's channel, a big Burnley fan, big gamer, and I was on his channel, and I think a few have come over here, so welcome, and we can experience this misery all together. But I don't think Everton, my opinion is Everton are out of it, but there's a lot of Leeds fans who don't think Everton are out of it yet. And, you look at Crystal Palace, you look at Palace are an awkward team. They're an annoying team to play. You saw that with Villa at the weekend, didn't you? But Palace are not a good team to play in one of these last games, like Brentford aren't. But then Arsenal away is a horrible last game of the season. It's not a good last game of the season. So, yeah, I mean, if Leeds are picking up a win and Burnley are picking up some points, then Everton, that's when you look at Everton being really back in it. But I just can't. I can't see. I can't see Leeds picking up a win at Brentford. I hope I'm wrong. Joe Griffiths, Kalvin seems to be off either way by the looks of his Instagram. Connor, I'm going to miss this guy. Yeah, Joe, I hope I've answered that. But yeah, I think he's going. And good luck to him. I absolutely love Kalvin, but there was a Leeds United before Kalvin. There will be a Leeds United after Kalvin Phillips. I do feel sorry for a lot of Leeds fans who've just joined in the Bielsa era, because a lot of it they won't grasp. But there was a Leeds United, but it was painful before. Let me tell you, it's painful before. But there have been good moments. Leeds will build. And we will go again without Kalvin Phillips. Don't worry. Gaz Oaks, Villa fan here. Hope we smash Burnley for you on Thursday. I respect Leeds more. Thank you, Gaz. I know there can be a little bit of war of words with Leeds and Villa. God, it's getting a bit dark now, isn't it? Can I go no lighter? No, you don't want that. A war of words between Leeds and Villa. I understand that, and it's quite funny, to be honest. Obviously, we've had some battles over the years, but I think the reason there's battles is because both teams are massive clubs. And listen, in the Premier League, I know you'll get smaller club fans saying it's all about merit, and it's all about meritocracy and earning your right to be in the Premier League. And whilst I completely agree, and that is right, and football is a meritocracy, and you reap what you sow. We always want the bigger clubs in the top division. You always want the bigger clubs in the top division. You want better away days. You want better home days. You want a little bit of aggro. You want a bigger fan base to get at you when you get at them, and it to be a story on television, and it to just be a story online and all this sort of stuff. That's what happens when big clubs are in the Premier League. You can hark back to nostalgic times when Leeds and Villa played each other in 1996 in the League Cup when Villa won 3-0. But great other times that we've had battles in the past. We can do that with Everton as well. Whereas the smaller clubs, it becomes a little bit difficult because the memories aren't there as such. So yeah, in a historical context, it's always great having the bigger clubs up there, in my opinion. I'm wondering if Pontus would do us a favour. Yeah, I don't think he would, mate, unfortunately. I don't think he would. You forget Pontus did get a little bit of stick. He did get a little bit of stick when he's come to Ellen Road. LFC England with 79p. Thank you, buddy. I've got a £5 in here as well somewhere. Thank you so much, my friend. I'll try to get to yours. I'm going to read out some comments, but they're absolutely, here we go. I've got it, mate. I've got it. It's Michael, actually. Will the 49ers take over in summer? Hi, Mike. Yes, they will. They will. I believe the sheets have been released online. I think they're holding, about 5 different segments of Leeds United already. So yeah, I think they're going to be definitely the owners in the summer. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Here we go. Lee Waters. Hello, Lee. We thought Brighton would be on the beach, and look how well they played. It's going to be a massive weekend next week. I cannot wait for it to unravel. Lee. Oh, Lee. I don't know, mate. You just seem like you're looking forward to that, mate. I don't know if I'm I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't normally swear on this channel, but I'm shitting myself. I really am. I'm absolutely shitting myself because it's like a plaster, isn't it? They've not ripped the wound off yet. They could have ripped the wound off, the plaster off the wound, sorry. Yesterday, if we'd have lost, that had been it. We'd have been done. But it's there, isn't it? It's there. We're still in. We're hanging on in there. So, yeah. Gandrew Mill says Burnley looked better against Spurs than Leeds did against Brighton. So look, Gandrew, listen, I get hate for this, but I'm just watching football as a game. If Leeds had played like Burnley did at Spurs, we'd have all been absolutely buzzing, even if we'd have lost the game. They played well with a weakened team. So yeah, I think Leeds were better against Brighton, much better than our standards, but it was still poor. Leeds 1-2 in the Championship, we would have parachute payments and the sale proceeds from many players. But is Marsh the right guy to get us up with his narrow construct? Yeah, I'm not going to go on that too much, mate. I'm not going to actually. Well, I can touch on it a little bit because I have asked you to people to respond to us if we were to go down, and we would also be losing about 120 million in terms of broadcast and TV rights, which is going to be set against the club. It also looks like we've not actually outlaid an initial payment so far, from what I've read, for Junior Firpo and Daniel James yet. We've got to take into context the wages of these players as well. We're going to be moving players on. Is there going to be, a large cohort of players going out? Obviously, that's going to set against the club's finances as well. what's going to happen with the 49ers? Are the 49ers going to invest in the squad if they take full control, or are they going to put a lot of it in the pocket? I've spoken to a lot of 49ers fans who say that the investment in the squad isn't always there. It's more in the facilities, it's more in the stadium. That's what they've done for years, and that's how they've built up a franchise in the States. So there's a lot of different scenarios. You know, yes, we go down, yes, we get the money for the players, yes, we get a big value of that, but there's stuff which is going to be going on. The financial, it's not as simple as that, because then every single other club that went down would come back up, and that doesn't happen. So there are two different ways it can go, and I think with the squad overhaul that Leeds are going to have, we're going to have to invest in a lot of players and potentially another manager. Now, if we do this, great, but we've seen with Victor Otto's recruitment, it's bang average or below average. So what are we looking at there? Are we looking at another hit rate that it probably is with Victor Orta of maybe 2 in 10 good signings? Because we can't do that again. Yeah, we can't do that again. Let's have a look. 800 of you in the building, guys. If you wouldn't mind slapping a like on the video, that would be great. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Connor moving players on apart from to who you're going to sell. There's a lot, mate. There's a lot. We've got international players, haven't we? Guys, I'll be 2 minutes. I'm just going to switch this light on, so stay with me. Hello, everybody. That should be a little bit better. Apologies for that. Normally, I'm going off stream and trying to sort this out, but I got some hints from KG yesterday, who had some, as Katrina says, I've just seen you, KG's Wi-Fi yesterday. Now Connor's like, that was bad from me. I just wasn't prepared. There's going to be people who are watching this just thinking you're in the dark, and now you've hit the light. Hopefully, like Leeds United. But yeah, I think it was Neil Scrivens. Hi, Neil. Sorry to answer your question there. I will now. Yeah, I think the problem is, Neil, we've got a lot of players who are internationals. I think that's a big thing. I think you're looking at Diego Llorente, who's still going to be wanting to play international football. Ilan Meslier, who I'd be stunned if he stayed with Leeds in the Championship. I really, really would be. You've got Pascal Strauch, who is potentially would stay with us in the Championship. But once again, he's looking at an international career. He's looking fantastic. I think this season has been a real top one from Pascal Strauch when you're looking at the overall span of his season. He potentially might stay with us for another season. Junior Firpo will be moved on, which I won't have a problem with. Rodrigo will be moved on, which I won't have a problem with. Jack Harrison, we're only talking a month ago about Spurs being interested in him from a very, very good source in Mike McGrath. So Rafinha on top of that as well. We don't know what's going to be happening with Patrick Bamford. You've got to think of worst case scenario possible. Worst case possible, so then you can sort of in your mindset rebuild. I have no idea if Bamford will move on. I haven't got a clue, but I don't know what his personal circumstances are. Maybe he thinks after his 17 goals, he's trying to get his foot right, and he's going to go again next season in the Premier League and try to get into that England squad again. Obviously, we know about Kalvin Phillips. Obviously, we know about Rafinha. So that is a lot of the squad. And then you've still got, as I've said to you guys before, Charlie Cresswell and Joe Gelhardt, who are being looked at by top clubs at the minute. So then you have the base layer of Liam Cooper, Luke Ayling, Stuart Dallas, Matthias Klick, Tyler Roberts, Adam Forshaw, who aren't good enough to get moves. aren't good enough to get better moves than Leeds United. So then what do you do? Because we've given Tyler Roberts a contract very, very recently. We've given Adam Forshaw a contract very, very recently. So do you then build around those players? Because for me, they should be squad players. So it's a whole rotation. And that's not me just being really, really critical. You can find your own interpretations of if Melier is going to stay or Llorente is going to stay, Cox going to stay, whatever. You can do that. But the high likelihood is when you go down, there is normally a real turnover in squads, unless you're a yo-yo team and you've built a squad within 2 or 3 years of going up and going down, i.e. Bournemouth, Fulham. There you go. Not a rumour. He had left Watford Ben Foster. Yeah, Ben Foster's available, isn't he? I'd 100% take Ben Foster next season. If we set out right and we get a result at Brentford, do people think Marsh will stay if we get relegated? Who will pay for Bamford? To be honest, Glenn, I think maybe the injury has maybe done us a favour with Patrick Bamford, just in terms that he's not been able to play. Bamford's up in the air for me in terms of if he was to leave Leeds, because I think in his mind he thinks he can cut it in the Premier League. He's not getting any younger. He's not getting any younger at all. What is he, 28 now? So he's in his prime. So I don't know whether or not he's going to be saying to his agent, which I presume he would be, I want to play in the Premier League. You know, he doesn't have just some sentiment attachment to Leeds. A lot of Leeds fans think that these players just want to stay at Leeds. A lot of football nowadays, unfortunately, is about money and obviously opportunity. England is the peak of many players' careers, obviously. So Bamford will be looking at that. He didn't really make his mark when he played for England. I think he played against Andorra, didn't he? He'll be looking at that again. If he was good enough then, he can be good enough again. So, but the year out could have done us a favour. And will he be the same player? So you've said as well, do people think Marsh will stay if we get relegated? Yeah, I think he'll stay. I think it was a great move for him. But would you want him to stay? Melier, great keeper, but distribution hasn't been great. Do you think he needs good competition, Connor? I do, mate. I really do. I not just competition, but I think the mental side of it. I think you look at Nick Pope, for example. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll look at keepers in and around us. Jordan Pickford has had some unbelievable games in the past month. Like unbelievable games where he's kept Everton in the game. Literally, I've been watching Jordan Pickford sometimes and been like, this can't be the same keeper. Got a lot of Everton fans as mates, as you guys know. He should be one of the standout players. So he's been magnificent. He's able to go back and talk to an experienced goalkeeper there. You also look at Nick Pope. Now, Nick Pope has had experienced keepers there over the years, hasn't he? Tom Heaton and Joe Hart. He's had that before. But Nick Pope is now just a seasoned vet in what he does. He's absolutely fantastic. And he's had monumental games, absolutely magnificent games. Like he just keeps Burnley in every single game. I was speaking to Liam Vizzer, and he was just saying that he's literally a top 6 goalkeeper. He's a top goalkeeper. So yeah, we need to see those big moments from Illan Melier. We need to see more big moments that, you look at that game and think, if we hadn't had Melier, we'd lost that game. And I think we can attribute that to some games with Illan Melier, like he's made some really good saves, but actual matches where he's just kept you in it, kept you in the game. In these last 3 or 4 months, I don't think we've seen a lot of those, to be quite honest with you. So what I'm trying to say is, I think an experienced keeper who is there, who is in the midst with him, is going to increase the competition in training. We'll be looking over his shoulder and thinking, bloody hell, Ben Foster's there. I'm going to have to up my game a little bit. And also, he's going to be able to talk him through a lot, which I think is absolutely massive in the Premier League. And Christopher Clarkson as, I don't know, the second keeper who maybe he asks advice off, which he just won't. He'll ask maybe Marcus Abad, the goalkeeper coach, who has not played at the top level. It's just nothing. And it's once again, complete ridiculousness from the board. Johnny D says, this is a tough time in the season for all the relegation threatened teams. Everton and Burnley both lose and we scrape a point. I think that's not bad. That's not bad, Johnny. I'd be very happy with that, mate. Yeah. Party at Millennium Square if we stay up. I think it's as important as promotion. I can see the scores changing all game and being in and out of the drop zone. Oh, God. Mate, I think you're right. Oh, God. It'll be awful. I can't do it. I'm so happy I don't do watch-alongs anymore. I'd have been cancelled if I'd have been doing watch-alongs this year. I'm telling you. Some of the words that have come out of my mouth, some of the noises that have come out of me, I didn't even know they were possible. Honestly, I'm so glad I don't do watch-alongs, just from my perspective, because I've just been an absolute wreck. Jack says, I don't want Marsh. How do you feel on the matter, Connor? Oh, Jack. Another Patreon member there, Jack. Top guy. If you want some more Patreon content, we have 6 extra videos a month. Hit the link in the description below, guys, and sign up. We've had a Don Matteo podcast recently. We've had tactical analysis on loads of teams. Jack will tell you that it's decent content, so make sure you get over there. It's only £4 a month. Well worth it. So, yeah, but in terms of Jesse Marsh, this is, I mean, people are so, let's calm, everyone in the comments, calm down, as the Scousers say, because it gets so heated and people just decide to resort to abuse if you don't agree with their opinion. But, I don't know. Sitting on the fence, but I don't know. The thing is, Jack, if I nail my colours to the mast right now, I'll get so many people just coming back to me and just absolutely hammering me with regards to Jesse Marsh. There's so many questions. So if you gave him a war chest in the summer, he's evidently going to build a team around his style of play, right? But I don't know what his style of play is. I know it's the counter press. I know it's a narrow, compact system, but I don't like it. It doesn't look good. It's not effective. And I don't know if he's sure on it. When he was at Leipzig, when he's been at Salzburg, he's famously tampered with the system when players haven't been happy with it. So is that what he's doing now? Looks like it. It looks like he's sort of going to the old success model of what Marcelo Bielsa was about, the 4-1-4-1, which we sort of saw at the weekend, and playing expansively and all this sort of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if I trust him. I just, this squad is built for a possession-based football and playing expansively. Once again, that's going to be an entire overhaul of the squad and certain players that are going to have to fit his system. So if he didn't do well at the start of next season in the Premier League or in the Championship, and we get into 6 to 7 games, and let's say Leeds sack him, then what? Because you've then got players who fit a very, very unique Red Bull network system, a very unique system, which isn't possession-based. It's all about the counter press. It's not about playing expansively. It's about being narrow, compact, and hitting the front man and playing off him. So then what do? Then you've got players to fit that system, and that's that. So it's all about trust. And I don't know. If I'd have seen something so far, if I'd have seen a style of play, I'd have really understood it. I'd have got what he was trying to do, which I did get what Bielsa was trying to do. Well, it wasn't working, and in my opinion, he needed to go, but it wasn't working. But I got what Bielsa was doing. People keep telling me he's not got his players, but for me, that's absolute rubbish, because you have so many managers coming in mid-season in bad state squads that are in bad states, really bad states, actually probably worse than Leeds United's, and managing to turn it around and managing to see a style of play, managing to see a bit of an identity, managing to see a set team and a set formation. I don't know what this is. So long answer, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm still toing and throwing in my head, really. Who's buying Phillips? Newcastle. Carl, if he was to go, I wouldn't mind it being Newcastle at all. It's probably the best one. Best one to go to. Connor, are you going to the game on Sunday? Might be, mate. Might have a little ticket there, which is going to be painful. Ian says, I don't know about Marsh. He's on a contract. Tough for those who don't agree. Yeah, I mean, he's on a big contract, so they're going to have to spend a lot of money if they do get rid of him. My kids swear along with me, says Pellegrino. Pellegrino, honestly, my brother never used to he used to be into it. He's got into it sort of the past 7-8 years, really into Leeds United, which has been great. And some of the words that were coming out of his mouth as well. Whew, not for the faint-hearted. Do you think Adam Forshaw last season with us also our last midfield signing from 2018? Chris, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we've given him a contract, haven't we? So... Madness. It should be. But I don't know. I don't know if this board are ruthless enough, to be honest with you. It's always friend settings, isn't it? Carlos Corb, if Huddersfield don't go up, listen, I think if we went down to the Championship, you've got players who fit that way of playing. It's a very similar system, obviously. And I like about Corb Brown, obviously, because I've covered Huddersfield quite a bit, that he's gone away from the man marking system successfully He's brought in a top keeper because he realises that it's an important position, especially for the way that he plays. And he's brought in 2 really, really strong centre-backs who are competent. And he's built a really good side there, a very, very strong side who are difficult to beat, but they play football the right way and they're intense. So he's literally got a really good system there, Corberan. So, yeah, we could do a lot worse than Carlos Corberan. Jay, will we see watch-alongs next season? Actually, mate, maybe for like Tuesday games. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If Leeds go down, there's probably more opportunity for me to do watch-alongs, to be quite honest with you. Weekends are difficult for me. They really are. But yeah, Everton, Colin, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. A big fan of the channel. I know he's a big fan of Cage's channel as well, and the debrief. Thanks, mate. Everton to lose the next 2, Leeds 2, Brentford 1. Is that down at Brentford? We're not playing at home, Colin. We're not playing at home. We balls that up, mate. Do you remember? Leeds 2, Brentford 1. Pontichanski with all 3 goals. Now that would be a finish. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, if honestly, guys, if we stay up, I don't want to get too excited about it. I don't. But someone said earlier, is it going to be better than promotion? It literally will be on that level for me. I'll probably cry. I'd probably cry. Would I cry? Yeah, why not? Yeah. I've been that depressed this season with regards to Leeds. You guys know, when I come on here and pour my heart out and get angry and annoyed and critical, it's because I bleed Leeds United. Why am I doing this? My girlfriend's in the other room. Yeah. Could be spending some quality time with her. No. I decided to come on here because I want to talk about Leeds. It's bugging me. It's keeping me up all night. I reckon I got 3 hours sleep last night. Could not get this Brentford game out of my head. Could not get the several scenarios of what's going to happen with Brentford out of my head. Brentford and Burnley out of my head. So, it'd be a huge thing. Oh, man, it'd be massive. It'd be massive if we stayed up. I know there was that famous clip of Roy Keane talking about when Aston Villa stayed up and he was saying it's too much. All they've done is stayed up. They've not won a trophy. But with what we've had to contend with the tribulations we've been through this year, to stay up would be a massive achievement. It would be a huge achievement. And I'd still be livid with the board, and I still am livid with them. I'm so angry with them. And that's going to come out probably at the end of the season as well. But yeah, I mean, it would be what an incredible achievement it would be to stay in this division. But I tell you what, guys, if we stay up and even if we go down, the change that has to happen in the summer. What I don't want to see is people coming back on here and say, what a great job. What a great job they've all done. Don't do that. Don't do that. This lot needs to be held accountable for what they've done this season. They really have absolutely ballsed up this season. So do not let that passion take the real problems that this club has to sort in the summer away. Because I tell you what we don't want is this again next season. And with this lot, you never know. Jack, you're another Patreon member. I'm surprised your girlfriend hasn't left you yet, Connor. She thought she was your only love. Listen, mate, she knows. She knows. She knows. Leeds, my girlfriend. It just is what it is. It is what it is. I just can't help it. I can't help it. They send me up the wall, Leeds United. They really do. Econ's in the building. If Villa win on Thursday, thanks for your donation as well, buddy. Top man. If Villa win on Thursday, I can't see Burnley getting anything at Newcastle. Obviously, it's at Turf Moor, but against Newcastle, I'm sure it means. Newcastle just played Liverpool, City, and Arsenal tonight. I think they'll be in the mood to batter someone last game. Yeah, and they've been good. As I said, Newcastle have been good. I think they'll actually get a result against Arsenal tonight as well. I really do. He's done I know they've had a war chest, but he's done a good job anyhow. He went in and they're on 5 points. He's done a good job. He's done a decent job for a large portion of that of his campaign as well. I mean, Dan Burn didn't play for a while. Bruno Guimaraes has only really come in the past sort of 7 to 8 games. I know Trippier's been a big part of it. But when you look at the overall makeup of the squad, he has actually done a really decent job. I'm actually confident for the Newcastle game. I am confident for the Newcastle game. I think they'll get a result. I think Newcastle will get a good result against Burnley. Villa's the one. Villa's a weird one. Ian, big fan of the channel. Miracles do happen. My German team, Stuttgart, did it on Saturday in the 92nd minute. Let's hope Villa help us out and we win on Sunday. Yeah, Villa, man. Villa, please, Villa. Don't let Burnley do a Burnley. Justin, Connor feels sorry for Bate not getting his starting lineup. Yeah, I do as well, mate. I do. Although I think you saw a little bit more from Click at the weekend. But yeah. Hisham says, hope your girlfriend is a Leeds fan, mate. Shouldn't have a choice, buddy. Shouldn't have a choice. I was engaged to a Man United. Hisham. Hisham, don't let it happen, my friend. That can't happen. I was engaged to a Man United fan before. The 6-2 defeat was hell. Oh, man, I'd struggle. Actually, I'm not sure my dad would let her in. I'm not sure. My dad wouldn't buy a red car. He would not buy a red car. He wouldn't. We've settled with a white car, and I think it was £3 more expensive. That's how petty it is in our house. No Sharp, no Vodafone, none of that. So yeah, yeah. I don't know if a Man United fan would be welcome. McAllister, we need Burnley to lose on Thursday first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Vital they lose. It's huge, McAllister, and I think this is just more cathartic, mate. We're getting all these problems out, aren't we? And this is what I love about the final word. I want you guys to just get your thoughts out and just have a little bit of a laugh together, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry sometimes. But Thursday's going to be hell. Everton playing as well. It's going to be absolute hell. I might just take. Actually, let me know what you guys are doing for the Thursday games. I might take myself out. Not like, kill myself, but I mean take myself out, as in I might just go and do something and just distract myself. I don't know if I can sit through it. Worst case scenario, Ashley Barnes, goes in off his arse and Burnley win 1-0. I can't do it. I've got to be out and about. But the last time I was out and about, Everton beat Chelsea 1-0, and I tried to distract myself, and then it killed me. It really killed me. Like I couldn't get out of my head. So yeah, I need to figure something out. Is a Leeds lad with a Man U girlfriend considered? Well, yeah, it's not. Well, it's yeah. Worth remembering, both Everton and Burnley playing Thursday. Less recovery time for a huge Sunday, 100%. Connor, my A levels are a day after the Brentford game. So let's pray for a Leeds win. I'm in Manchester, James. I'm in Manchester. I'm trying to windle out of it and maybe get a ticket for the game, but I don't think I can get out of it. So I'm in Manchester. I won't be going to any bars. I'll probably just have it on my phone or something like that. Katrina says, my eldest is a Liverpool fan, as his dad's a Scouser. He went to see Liverpool playing Newcastle at St James's and sat in the home end. To be fair, the Geordie fans were superb towards him. So yeah, Geordies they're a good bunch. Big fan of them. Got a lot of Geordie mates who were big pals of mine. Let's have a look. Some of our comments are going up. Keep getting them in, guys. There's absolutely loads coming in. How many of you in the building? Nearly 900 of you. Wow. So you're enjoying this waffle, and I hope you're enjoying this cathartic session. Please like the video. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you check out the instant match reaction after this as well. I might have said some different thoughts on there. Hannah's in the building. Hello, Hannah. I'm going to cinema Thursday. I can't go with it either. Yeah, I did. What did I go and see? I went to see The Northman. Don't go and see The Northman. It was an awful film. But yeah, I might go see Doctor Strange or something like that. Maybe that'll just take my mind into some weird sort of strange, don't know, sort of mushroom-esque place. Would like Everton to go down. Yeah, 100%. Is Joe doing a watch-along for the next few games? Would you join him? I expect. Nah, listen, Joe's calm. Joe's calm. I've seen a few of Joe's watch-alongs. Nah, trust me. Words get said in this house. Words get said. You guys, when I come on here and I do the instant match reactions, a final word and debrief, it's very calm. It's very, very calm. When I'm watching the game, it's bordering on abuse. That's why I need to watch it by myself. I really do. There's things being thrown sometimes. It's bad. It's bad. People have tried to speak to me about how I react when I'm watching Leeds. They've actually sat me down and tried to have interventions without they're worried about me, my stress levels when it gets to certain things. I'm literally kicking every ball. So yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Is there a debrief show tonight, please? Katrina, the debrief will be back tomorrow. We are going from 6 p.m. With Brownie and KG tomorrow, so loads to talk about. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good session. And I think it's Monday. It's sunny tomorrow as well, so it should be a nice evening for us to do it. Love seeing Sniffer yesterday, pointing towards the goal when he was on the pitch, like he was giving directions. Yeah, they're all there, weren't they? Tony Dorigo, Eddie Gray. I think Brian Dean was down there as well. Some fantastic Leeds legends there. Would have a few of them to be back. I'd love a few of them to be back. Can't remember where we were under Massimo Cellino. I do. Yeah, I do. No number 17s, not the colour purple. Napa, I watched a watch along. So that's why I stopped doing them. Napa, I couldn't do them anymore. I was like, I can't actually believe I'm putting these live. If you want to check one of my watch alongs, go back and watch them. It'll be filtered on my oldest videos on the One Leeds. Honestly, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, I do need help. Someone just said on some of them. Let's have a look. Jay Coyle, Jay, met him down at the game before in hospitality. Top man. Still feel like we'll go down because I don't see us getting out at Brentford. I think all Burnley need is a point. Maybe I'm being better. No, you're not, mate. It's the harsh reality, and that's why I'm trying to bring everyone up a little bit and have a little bit of chat about other things. But yeah, it's the harsh reality, mate. Burnley get a point, and they go to Newcastle in pole position really, and Leeds need a win. Yeah, tough one, mate. Tough one. I'm in your park. I am, and hopefully the lads can prove me wrong. I hope they can prove me wrong. Hannah says the highlight of my week, the debrief. Yeah, it's funny. Do you know why the debrief's funny, Hannah? Because none of us ever agree. And that's the best thing. That is the best thing. That's why I got us all together, because it's a melting pot of different opinions. It's different opinions. And Brownie's on a different. Honestly, me and Brownie are so opposites. We're opposites. Cage is probably in the middle a little bit, maybe leaning towards my side a little bit. But that's why we do it. That's why we do it. And that's why it's getting a lot of success at the minute, the debrief. You guys are absolutely loving it because I think you love the dynamic. You love the fact that we challenge each other. We don't all agree ever. And I think that's it's quite good TV, isn't it? So, yeah, it's good that you guys are enjoying it. Brownie is always positive. Yeah, Christ. Yeah, and LB said that you've got the perfect balance spot. I think that's what people like, which is always great to see. Andy's in the building, 1982. I wonder why that's your name, mate. Did you win a cup one time, mate? Did you win a cup? I'm a Villa fan, and if either Leeds or Everton go down, I'll be happy. Yes, of course you do, mate. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm happy you're going to be happy, Andy. That's good. That's good for you, mate. That's good for you. Matt Parton, as a Brentford fan, wishing you the best of luck at the weekend. Hope you guys stay up. The Prem needs clubs like that. Matt, I didn't expect that, Matt. Normally there's a little bit of aggro, isn't there, Matt? A little bit of aggro. Podcast wars as well. A lot of podcast wars, which won't go into. But yeah, obviously there's been a bit of needle between the clubs. I do think it's maybe a little bit more from the Brentford side. I have got once again another friend who is a Brentford fan. He was saying to me the other day, Connor, I want to give you stick, but I can't give you stick because you just resigned to everything. Yes, everything he said I agreed with. So yeah, he really couldn't give me any stick. So yeah, Brentford are doing the Leeds, aren't they? They're doing the Leeds from last season. Obviously, we finished 9th. We laid the gauntlet down there with how many points we finished on. And it does remind me a lot of Leeds, what Brentford are doing. I think in an attacking capacity, Leeds were much more exciting than Brentford are, much more fluid, dynamic. As I've just said, we were just emphatic on the counter attack, and we really built up form towards the end of the season. To be there last season. But I think Brentford's structure, their midfield, their defence, they're just a very, very strong unit. And that's why it's going to be difficult. But thank you for your comment. Really appreciate that one. Luke's in the building. Waste of 3 or 4 years this when we go back down. Yeah. Can't disagree with you, Luke. Can't disagree with you. Very frustrating, mate. Very frustrating. Well, should we leave it there then? It's been an hour and 7 minutes. Normally, this was supposed to go on for about 30 minutes. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is what, as I said, the final word. We've done 3 of them now, and it is just about your thoughts. It's about having a little bit of a laugh as well, just me and you. I've got so many ideas for shows, which you guys will really enjoy, but we need to be in the Premier League. Oh, God. See, we're affected. We're so affected by this as well as content creators, because a 46-game season minimum is very different in terms of content to 38. So, yeah. Oh, God. No. Don't want to be doing content when we've got a Coventry away. It's just not the one. But, yeah. So, listen, we need to stay up for me. Do it for me, please. If you're watching, Rafinha, do it for me. But no, yeah, listen, we'll be back tomorrow with the debrief. I hope you enjoyed this final word. We have your instant match reaction as well if you want to go check that out. And yeah, we've got a couple of good shows which will be coming in the summer, which are a little bit more interactive and a little bit more family based as well for me, which I think you guys will enjoy. I had something similar on the channel a while ago, but I had to stop doing it. So yeah, that'll be coming soon. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, as I said, with the debrief from 6 o'clock. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as I always say, guys. And yeah, have a good one, and we will see you in a bit. Cheers.